everyone, it's Chelsea. What's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Chelsea, if you guys aren't aware. Today, it's not like one of my regular videos that I wanted to do, but I feel like it's a very important topic that should be discussed in a way. Before we get started, I just want to make sure to tell you guys to subscribe and give this video a like, and subscribe and also share this video with your friends whenever I upload it. Now, the video I'm doing today has to do with some national, I don't really think you call it a national holiday, but awareness day, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense, but apparently October 10th was World Mental Health Day, which means people who are going through like anxiety and mental health problems and all that, they have a day for it. They can bring awareness to it and get the people the help they need. And yeah, I figured it's an important topic to discuss. Along with today's video, I am going to react to the Fine Bros. Check out their channel. They do a bunch of reacting to popular videos or trends or whatever. They're amazing. They're awesome. They have a lot of neat reactors on there. So thumbs up for making those videos, guys. Subscribe to the Fine Bros if you haven't. Even though I don't know them personally, I'm going to tell you to subscribe to them anyway. You know, never mind. But yeah, I'm reacting to the teens reacting to mental health theme TV shows, movies, all that stuff. But yeah, and then I'm going to talk about my stories. Some of them, not all of them, because I have a lot of them. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, guys. I have the video pulled up. It's on my TV. And if you see my camera shaking a bit, that's because I don't have an actual video camera, as you might have noticed. I am using my new phone, or should I say my mom's old phone, the Samsung S9 Plus. Wow, it's kind of sad. I don't know what kind of phone I'm using. Anyway, this seems to have like shows like Euphoria or Saved by the Bell. It looks like, as you can see in the title, I'm raising the volume a bit so you guys can hear. And let me zoom in. Too close. Perfect. Now let's get started. It looks like there's a little disclaimer. Yep, I was right. October 10th. I know I'm late on this, so don't say anything about it.
The other thing about depression.
Oh, Zendaya.
Bro, you listening?
Oh, I've heard so much about the show.
I never watched this.
Suddenly,
It's a good show.
find your whole
It's
days blending together.
very realistic.
Suddenly, you find your whole days blending together to create one endless and suffocating loop.
That's Zendaya, right?
Zendaya, get it right.
Really good actress. So you find yourself trying to remember the things that made you happy.
Oh.
This was such an important scene in Euphoria. Oh, geez. This looks like almost like a teen / adult show. I never heard of it. I might have to check it out.
So true. Like, that's how it hits.
And eventually, all you can think about is how life has always been this way.
I've heard that, like, this show talks a lot about, like, mental health. And, like, they touch upon, like, subjects that are really hard to watch.
And will only continue to be this way.
Don't mind me filming my door for a second. I'm in the living room. I just want to say as a disclaimer, if you see me getting emotional, it's because I can relate to some of these most likely. I'll explain why later.
Movies and these TV shows about how perfect high school is.
Yeah, that's another thing. People, like, over-dramatize high schools like Disney Channel.
Which means that when we grow up,
Let me just pause this really quick. I have something to say. When you see things like in high school films, like, I don't know, High School Musical, for example, which is one of my childhood movies, I feel like they, as much of a good movie as it is a good movie, I feel like they're not realistic with it. I'm not saying that because it's a musical. I'm saying that because of all the things that happen in that high school at East High, but in real life, it's a whole different story. It's nothing like what you see on TV. They should be a little more realistic with it. Anyway, let's continue.
that we have to
What's this movie called? I can't see
get
it.
the ideals of you.
Move away, title. Splendor in the Grass.
Oh, is she having trouble talking in front of the class? Anxiety? I feel that.
There's nothing worse than crying in class.
I agree. That's one of the worst things that's happened to me many times.
Please be.
sad.
I don't remember being to that point where I wanted to run out of the classroom, but you know, there are times I've cried because my anxiety took over.
This clip was from the 1961 film Splendor in the Grass. It focuses on the tale of a teenage girl in the 1920s.
Oh wow, 1920s.
In this particular scene, Deanie had just figured out her boyfriend cheated on her with another classmate of hers.
I've been cheated on twice. Very untrustworthy.
Okay, let me just say,
Sucks. When I went through
I've never been cheated on. I've had guys who broke out with me in ways that are cowardly, but I don't think I've ever been cheated on. Which I'm sure that it's probably happened to many people who are gonna watch this video, most likely. But you know, it just happens to some people. I am shaking so bad. I'm trying to get this thing to stay straight. My arms are getting tired from holding the phone. But yeah, I've had guys who broke up with me by doing text message or trying to call me. I feel like that's more painful than having them just break up with you face to face. I mean, either way, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt you emotionally, but you know, some men are cowards. And yeah, let's just continue instead of telling you about my breakup story. Oh, the Breakfast Club. Oh my god,
I remember this movie.
I love this movie.
Mr. Ryan found me going in the locker.
I have seen Breakfast Club, but I don't remember.
Oh, I forgot this scene.
I can't have it.
School anxiety, school stress. I've been there.
Line right there.
Especially in college.
So accurate.
If I ace the rest of the semester, still won't let it be.
Anthony Michael.
I have been there.
Like a suicidal type thing. This specific.
Okay.
I'd be like a ton of people.
Will you pause video? Okay. The thing with me, I'll explain this more in the video, but I did have school anxiety for pretty much a lot of my years in school. I'll explain later in the video because I can relate to that. Not to the point where I wanted to do anything to self-harm or anything, but to the point where I break down, get emotional, have these anxiety attacks almost. So I understand what they're trying to do here, especially because you know me. Actually, if you don't know me, but I could probably sometimes be a perfectionist in a way. And it's kind of hard for me to be like not accept the fact that I'm not perfect at times. But I'll explain more. I know what I'm saying doesn't be making sense, but you know, you'll see what I mean.
Pressure to go to do, and I feel like sometimes that pressure can overwhelm people.
There we go. I'm on my stomach now.
A's, everything that good for college, good for parents, but it's just like we're not given time to breathe. I've had like friends who left school because they find it really stressful and I've just never seen them again. Like I know that I felt moments before where it's just like I always constantly have to impress my parents.
That's what I felt like I had to do. I mean, my parents will love me no matter what. They'll be happy with no matter what I do.
But it's just...
But I just felt like if I didn't do something right, I felt like I would have let them down.
But like you go to public school...
Oh God, he's crying. Don't make me cry. Oh, Saved by the Bell.
You're singing tonight.
Oh, I've seen this scene.
I haven't.
The scene where like he found out that wasn't she doing drugs. I saw this on Instagram like a few years back, that scene. I just remember looking at the comments and a lot of people were just talking about the acting.
I gotta wash my hair.
No, there's no time.
No time! There's never any time! I don't have time to study! I'll never get into Stanford! I'll let everyone down! I'm so confused!
I've been there many times, or I feel confused. I feel upset.
I'll be okay. I just need one of these.
I can't believe they touched on like pills and addiction.
I need them back! I have to
No.
You can't sing.
Sometimes my anxiety can get out of control, but I don't go to the point where I need drugs like so strong. I usually just break down. I've been there to the point where I have someone comforting me, which I think having someone comfort you is great. I think have someone to come for you is a great thing, but it's probably hard on that person as well. And yeah, it's hard to see the people you love being there with you through such a difficult time when you're stressing out. And I've had those moments. Should I keep watching the rest of the video? Okay, guys, I decided not to watch the rest of the video because I don't really know how much storage my phone can take up. I just got it a few weeks ago, so I really have not a lot of an idea how much storage this phone can hold. So I'm just going to tell you some of my experiences with anxiety, because I do go through anxiety sometimes. I sometimes have it really bad to the point where I feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack. It's not a good feeling to have, I'll tell you that right now. Like, I have a lot of stories. I'll narrow it down to some of them, but I won't go too crazy. Because I've dealt with this as long as I can remember, probably since I was like a kid. Well, probably when I was more of a kid, I probably stressed out over stupid stuff. But as like an early adult, I'm 21, by the way. I know it doesn't look like it. I'm 21, though. As an adult, I feel like I realize that growing up isn't easy. Like, I remember in junior high, 8th grade was probably one of the worst school years of my life. I know that sounds dramatic, but I was known as being in the worst class out of the whole 8th grade. And I was honestly scared to go to school. And no like teenager or almost coming to teenager person should never feel like that. No kid should ever feel like that. No one should feel like scared to go to school. I was scared to go to school. My anxiety was so bad to the point where I would cry. I would break down. My kids. I don't have kids. Don't worry, guys. I don't have kids. What else? To the point where I was scared to go. There were days I would stay home out of fear because I was worried about what was going to happen with my class. I wasn't really focusing on myself. I was more focused on what was going to happen with my class. I'm not calling out any people about this. I don't even remember who was in my class completely. It's been so long. But, you know, it's not a good feeling to have. And, it got so bad to the point where I would break down every day. I would just burst into tears out of nowhere because I was so afraid to be in the class. I mean, the teachers, my class and the teachers, my class would get yelled at a lot. I didn't want to deal with it. Every time I saw a teacher yelling at the class as a whole, I thought they were yelling at me as well, even though I did nothing. I don't know why I was overreacting, but that's how I was. And they would tell me like, oh, it's not you and all that. It's the other kids were yelling at. You did nothing wrong. And no matter how many times they told me that, I was still afraid. So it got bad to the point where I was put on a homebound for the rest of 8th grade. And if you wonder what a homebound is, it's kind of like homeschooling. In my case, I had a different teacher come to the house each day, like Monday through Friday. Like one teacher comes one day, different teacher comes another day. I mean, that put a lot of stress off, I guess, but at the same time, it felt a little odd having a teacher come to the house. But then I finally decided to go back to, well, actually, no, I didn't decide. We all figured it was time for me to go back to doing regular schooling when I went to high school. But yeah, I was so stressed out in 8th grade. I was, like, breaking down. Another thing I had a hard time with, some things in high school weren't too bad. Some days were better than others, I would say. Like, I would worry about my friends a lot. I was in a group of friends who would sometimes constantly argue. I'm not saying who. Don't come for me in the comments asking, oh, who is it? I'm not going to tell you. Either way, they're probably going to see this video. I'm just explaining my story of some anxiety problems I've had. What is it? Like high school, I've had a lot of friends who would get in trouble. I had friends who would sometimes break out in a fight. I was in a group of friends that had friends arguing with one another. I would try my best not to get in the middle of it. They can be arguing over the stupidest thing. And for some reason I felt like I was getting dragged in the middle of it. I didn't want to deal with it. There were days where there were fights, like fist fights. Not exactly, the only thing I can remember was between my friends. But at the same time, I know it wasn't easy, but high school's never easy. The recent anxiety thing I've had was actually a couple years ago with college. College started off good, I will say that, but I feel like it's my fault a little bit because since college didn't work out for me, only because I wasn't focused on my schoolwork. I felt like I wasn't fully motivated. I wasn't focusing on my schoolwork that much, which that was my fault. I will take responsibility for that. But there are days where I felt a lot of pressure to be, this amazing student. Because everyone in high school all the teachers would be like, oh, she's such a great student. I tried my best. But I feel like with college, I didn't try hard enough. And there were times where I would just break down in class. I would say I can't go to class. There were times I would have left early because my anxiety was so bad. There were times where I would just, before class even start, hours before class would even start, I would just start thinking, what's going to happen today? And I would just start having these panic attacks, if that's what you want to call them. To the point where I start crying. I can't stop crying. I'm, thinking all these things. I don't want to let my parents down. That was one of the main things that kept me from, focusing. I wanted to try to prove to my parents that I can do this. I wanted to show that I don't want to let them down. I want to be successful in my life. I really do. But I feel like all that pressure I was putting on myself wasn't healthy for me. There were times where I had friends asking, oh, are you okay? And I couldn't even talk. That's how upset I would have been to the point where I can't talk. And that's kind of scary. College isn't easy. Let me tell you this, my dad was right. It's nothing like high school. They're not going to help. I mean, they will help you, with a tutor or something. But you got to put in the time and effort for that schoolwork. If you're in high school, if you fail, you just, do summer school or redo something. But in college, it's totally different. I mean, sure, there's less drama. There's a lot less drama in college, I'll tell you that. But at the same time, teachers don't care if you pass or fail. It's up to you whether you want to focus on your schoolwork and pass. I feel like with me, I tried too hard to be a perfectionist in a way. But at the same time, I wasn't trying too hard, obviously, because I wasn't focused. My anxiety I felt like kept getting in my way. I couldn't, focus. It was really hard for me at the time. I had friends asking, what's wrong? I couldn't even talk to them because I was so upset. College wasn't easy, and I had teachers who tried to help me. For example, with, finals, because I was in a culinary/pastry major at the time, we had our finals that were timed. I'm not the best under a time limit. I will admit that I get frazzled a bit at times, but the finals, I feel like I want to pass. I want to do well. Did I sometimes finish the final? No. As time went further into college, I didn't even get a chance to finish on time. And that's pretty bad. And at one point, I had to drop my pastry class. The main major I ended up taking. I dropped my pastry class because I was so stressed. I was full of anxiety and fear. It wasn't an easy decision, but I figured I have to do what's best for me. And maybe this class is too much for me to handle. And, is what it is. But yeah, anxiety sometimes gets the better of you, is what I'm trying to say. Some people can handle it better than others. Me, I'm trying to work on it. But at the same time, it still happens to me. I'm 21 years old. I still have all these things happening. I mean, in college, obviously didn't work out. Oh my god, my hair's such a mess. It obviously didn't work out. But at the same time, I feel like still, past is the past. Move on from it. You live and you learn. That's all I can say about college and school or whatever. There are times I was stressed out over stupid stuff, like school drama or whatever. Anything stupid, any drama problems at work, I was stressed out over stupid stuff. I feel like I sometimes focus on other people and what they're doing more than I focus on myself, which is most likely true. But, you know, it gets to the point where you're like, okay, I need to step back, I need to focus on myself. It's not easy. Oh, jeez. Well, yeah, so if you or anyone you know is suffering with anxiety or depression, I never gotten to the point where I'm depressed, but there were times in my life I felt like I'm not doing my best, or I'm trying too hard, or I feel like I'm gonna let people down in my life that I love. I felt like I was gonna let down my parents when I didn't finish college the way I should have. They understood. They were a little bit upset, I guess you can say, but they weren't, like, disappointed. And they were right, I was letting myself down. I admit that I did let myself down. And, you know, I guess college wasn't for me. It is what it is, though. You know, if you guys go to school, talk to a counselor. If you guys are stressing out at home or anywhere, you can go talk to your family, like your mom and dad, or anybody in your family, obviously, because you can trust them. Talk to a teacher. Talk to a guidance counselor. What's another thing you can do? If you need to, I wouldn't recommend talking to a stranger unless you know them in some way, like an acquaintance. If you can find a stranger you think you can trust, and they see you, or if you see them on a regular basis, maybe you can talk to them. Because there were times where I've needed people to talk to. Another thing you shouldn't do, don't keep your feelings in. If there's something bothering you, just talk about it without getting yourself all worked up, which I've done many times, I will admit. What else? You know, don't let the fear stop you from doing what you want to do. I feel like that's what's happened to me. Throughout college and all that, and a few times it's happened to me, but I won't go into detail there. I really won't, because I feel like I'm dragging on with this video. I know I'm late with World Mental Health Day. I know I'm pretty late on it, and by late I mean like a week and a half, I believe. But I feel like it's October. It's something we could talk about. If you guys want to share your stories about anxiety, about how you cope with the issues, let me know in the comments, or you can feel free to tweet me at Cupcake New Love. It's spelled CupcakeNukeluv. I couldn't type the full word love, so I just put LUV. That's close enough. Anyway, if you guys find this video helpful, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends who are dealing with anxiety and mental health things. Also, check me out on my social media. I have all my account names down below. Thanks for watching and understanding. And like I said, talk to people. They will help you. And I guess that's it. That's all I gotta say. Now I'm gonna go get a drink of water, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!